And as part of the efforts to address the menace and strengthen understanding of the linkages between energy security and economic development, Nigeria needs to deploy mechanisms to support resilient energy systems that will transform into better sustainability, availability, affordability, and accessibility for the citizens. That is why it is important to support the implementation of the 2004 power sector reform that is targeted to improve the energy mix and reduce the rising cost of energy and the impact on food production, as well as direct development. They say if we do this, we'll reduce citizens' vulnerability and build resilience to fluctuating price stability. Okay, we're now being joined by retired Air Vice Marshal Akugbe Iyamu, who is the president of the Association of Environmental Protection and Climate Change Experts, to look at this issue, because that's one very warm welcome to Newsnight. Yes.
Thank you very much.
The energy mix, you know, is a plethora of energy sources that can really help accelerate, or that normally will help accelerate the socioeconomic development of any nation. Since 2004, our master plan is not been in any way affected. And remember also that Nigeria and Nigerians, we've, been faced or fed with energy improvement, as some people will say, dating back to 1896.
Yeah.
How do you react to all this?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, viewers at home. Energy security is key to any national development. It's a national security. Because if you don't get it right, you are tampering with the national security. You're tampering with hunger, you're tampering with movement, you're tampering with everything that accumulates. Because what is energy? It's ability to move. That's the layman definition. And you have it. You have it in this form, you have it in electricity, you have it in renewable, you have it in fossil, and you have it in
solar.
Solar, that's the renewable now.
Yeah, renewable energy.
So you have it inside this mix. Nigeria has been on this trajectory since 1896. Power reform and everything, when electricity was first given to the British in the Lagos colony. Yeah. But becoming 1970, ECN, the NEPA, PACN, then it became very substantial around 2015. Don't forget, in this trajectory, the highest electricity we have ever had in this country was in 1980, 5.1 megawatts or something.
5,000.
5,100 megawatts.
I'm sure that was when Akugbe came on stream to
everybody came on stream and everything.
Or the power station in Sapele.
Yes.
Then you had the Ugeli one.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. In 2020, the report on the ease of doing business told you that 47% of Nigerians does not have access to electricity. And you see, the Sustainable Development Goals, that is the Oxfam.
I was going to come to that.
Yes.
Are we ever going to meet that goal for energy efficiency?
The Oxfam commitment reduction of inequality told you that Nigeria is the most unserious country to meet this, to reduce poverty and meet these goals. You understand? So what are you now saying? This, you see, to meet, if you're talking of 2030, now it says that Nigeria is 146 country out of 166 in the Sustainable Development Goal. That's the 2023 report. So if we have to do that, energy security is very key. That is energy sustainability. You have to meet availability, accessibility, and reliability. You see, people have to be able to access energy. And the mix, you see, it might interest you to know now that while we are generating between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts, the total energy due to renewable in Nigeria is almost 35,000 megawatts. Now, I would have thought that, okay, the 2023 was very wonderful, very beautiful reform. But you cannot be doing reform. You cannot be doing reform without the institution and the structure remaining the way it is. I would have thought by now the Ministry of Power in line with global practices, should have been tampered with, in line with thermal, in line with renewable, in line with fossil fuel, in line with all the mix of energy. So it cannot continue to remain there and you say you are doing reforms. So that is where we are now. And the Global Human Index is also telling you that, look, out of 183 countries, you are 157. So the figures are so low. Why are they so low? Because of energy, because of power. And
it is quite disheartening that, the global index were not there at all. And you've talked about the abundance of renewable energy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here that will the 2023 power, reform help to achieve energy sustainability, availability, reliability, and all the abilities put together in this country?
Yes.
What would that be?
Yes, it will help. It will help if we are sincere with the institutions. What is now happening is that the institutions are growing bigger than the solution. That is
just like the population too is growing bigger than what is available.
The growing bigger than the solution is growing bigger than the capacity. It's growing bigger than the capacity. Energy across the world now is people are, you see, they say, look, the poor countries will need $4 trillion US dollars to fix energy. Now, because of COVID and most of all these things, you have it trickled in last year. That's 554, which is about 20%, and subsequently you have 1.3 trillion. Due to all this, no nation can fund energy. Let's take energy now, because if you talk of energy, you're also talking of the fossil fuel. We have been members of OPEC since 1971. What was the main aim? To make sure that our prices were comparable internationally. So what have we derived from there? It's supposed to be of greater benefit. You have Venezuela there, you have Iran, you have Iraq. Now look at Norway. No, you see, the biggest sovereign wealth fund in the world is with Norway. Since 1979, they've not touched their money. They've not touched them. So, investing in renewable is a frontline investment. It's a very huge investment, and it's not what envelope budgets can do. The other day we went to France for Macron financing summit. What are we doing with that? We came back here and we are quiet. He has given you a new fiscal for people that are challenged for short term to be able to access funds. What is he advocating? Let's tamper with the laws of these development entities, the World Bank, the IMF, so that the poor countries can access this. Otherwise, they will not be able to develop. Because 9 out of 10 countries and human development interest is almost go to zero. Because when all these things were happening, nobody saw COVID-19.
But in the midst of all this, Egypt is increasing its increasing its power generation. That of South Africa is going down. Nigeria is just like at a standstill. How do we tap, into the 4 trillion naira energy funds for climate, improvement that is there available?
Capacity. You must deploy the right capacity. You see, when the US was going to discuss climate change with Russia, they didn't send the climate change. They sent Janet Yellen, because it's a finance problem. And the energy now is has to do with climate change. But what the world is saying now is that, look, we have to continue to fund Africa. We have to continue to fund the vulnerable countries. So otherwise, we are never going to achieve the 2030 sustainable development goals. So what it is is that we need capacity. See the way the world is going. You see that we are challenged by short-term finance now. But what Macron is saying is that, look, we know that you have this problem. We are going to create an energy architecture that we are mobilizing public sector reform, because they know that if they don't solve the problem of vulnerable countries, small island states, and which Nigeria is very, very prominent, they will not solve global emission reduction. You understand? So it's capacity now. no office should be used to patronize anybody. Get the best people to come and man it for you. Because yet our energy is in their street.
And we have human capacities in abundance all over the world, and even in Nigeria.
Yes. Remember, I told you that the Oxfam commitment. Yes, told you that. Look, we are the most unserious country to fight poverty.
Well, I'm sure we're very serious in Nigeria because when you see what we do in overseas, great achievements, and even back home. Yeah.
Great achievement, so very great achievement. Yeah. Yes.
All right, thanks so very much. Akugbe Iyamu is a retired Air Vice Marshal and the president of the environmental change, for climate experts and the rest. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.